Merry Christmas. I just got out of Into the Woods. This was my going to the movies is my tradition every year. On Christmas Day, going all the way back to probably the early 90s, I go to a movie on Christmas Day, a new movie every year. This year, I'm happy to say it was Into the Woods, which I enjoyed. It's a lot better than last year, because last year was Anchorman 2. So, I call that an upgrade. Into the Woods. I enjoyed it tremendously. I'm not a musical guy. In fact, I barely even ever heard of this one. And I think I might have heard of it some years ago in passing, but I don't know anything about it. But I feel like, I don't feel like I missed out, but I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. It's kind of a, I thought about this while I was watching it. It's kind of a mixtape version of all of the fairy tales. Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood. It's a mixture of all of those things mashed up together. And they mash up very well into this plot that, wow, is so complicated. Overcomplicated, I should say. It's, the center of the story is a baker and his wife can't have children. So they make a deal with a witch that if they get 4 items by midnight, that the curse will be lifted. There's a lot that goes along with this. The curse will be lifted, and they'll be able to have a child. And the plot gets so complicated as they're trying to make deals. They have to get Rapunzel, some of Rapunzel's hair. They have to get Jack's cow. They have to get Little Red Riding Hood's cape, and they have to get one of Cinderella's shoes, which in this movie is gold rather than glass. But how they get all of those items is this giant cluster that even they get confused by. It's crazy, and there are points, I swear, where they have to actually stop and explain the plot to each other. And is somebody here? Thought somebody was here. But they have to stop and explain the plot to each other, and you're trying to sort it out while they're trying to sort it out. And it's not done in a confusing way. It's done in a way that is so wonderfully convoluted. I love it for that. The music is wonderful. I remember the music in this movie a lot more than I did in Annie. Because I like this movie a lot more than Annie. Just especially the opening theme, which I swear seems to go on and on and on and on and on, which would bother me under normal circumstances, but in this circumstance, it doesn't. It's a really complicated plot. It's a convoluted, or the mashup of characters. They all seem individual, though. Usually in a movie with this many characters, it does get complicated trying to keep up with everybody. But I think the director is Rob Marshall, who made Chicago, does a good job of orienting this story so that you can keep up with it, even when it seems like reasonably you shouldn't. But like I said, the music is great, the characters are great. I love the twist on some of the characters. Jack is a dunderhead. Red Riding Hood is a bit of a fighter. Johnny Depp shows up in this thing as the big bad wolf, and he looks like a pimp. I'm not kidding. He looks like a pimp. He's not in it very long, but he gives a decent performance. Johnny Depp in his movies has a tendency to wear out his welcome, but I think in this one he does manage to. He's on screen just long enough. But he does a good job. It's kind of a slithery kind of performance. But I enjoyed it. A lot of critics didn't care for this one, but I did. It's not perfect. It's got its flaws. It's a little too long. There's a point in the movie when it seems to be over, and the movie keeps going. It's like almost like the movie breaks in half, and then the last half hour of the movie is just. It's almost like another story. You know, after they get all the stuff and everybody seems to be happy, something else happens. And then it's almost like another incident. It's almost like you're watching it and then you watch an extended scene. That's what the last half hour is like. That's really my only objection. I kind of got confused because I'm sitting there thinking, that felt like an ending. You know, there's a scene where there's like a parade, and it feels like the ending. You're waiting for the closing credits, and the movie keeps going, and it goes into something else. It has to do with what happens to Jack. Jack climbs the beanstalk and kills the giant, and then there's a repercussion to that, and it makes up a long, protracted scene. I really didn't get the ending of it, but still, that objection aside, I really did enjoy this movie. And like I say, I'm not big on musicals. I don't know this one, but I enjoyed it and I recommend it. I'm the Armchair Critic. Visit me at armchaircinema.com, and I'll see you next time. Bye.